We're here. We made it to Saigon, also known as Ho Chi Minh City, and today we're doing something really cool. We're going to go to the tunnels of Cu Chi Minh, and they are an immense network of connecting tunnels located in the Cu Chi district of Ho Chi Minh City, also Saigon, and which are part of a much larger network of tunnels. And if you were born in the 60s like me, you know all about the Viet Cong and the NVA. Well, the Cong used the tunnels, and that's where we're going. Can't wait.
Some people care about the history.
We had a really terrific tour guide. He told us all about the economy and the politics and the war. And it was great hearing his opinion of what happened and what occurred. And they don't call it the Vietnam War, they call it the American War. So it was just very interesting. We saw a lot of cool sights on the way to the tunnels. By the way, the drive from the ship to the tunnels was several hours, but completely worth it. When we arrived, the tour guide took us to this big map that showed us the tunnel network. It was huge, but what was most interesting is at the center of this, you see a little blue area. That's a U.S. military base. And on the upper left side, you see tunnels actually going underneath the military base. I had no idea.
The red color here, Cu Chi Tunnel villages.
Next, he showed us what it was like inside the tunnels, and they were so detailed. These tunnels, they had kitchens, dining rooms, bedrooms, meeting rooms, traps, and a lot of the tunnels were only narrow enough for very skinny Vietnamese men to go through. Americans, which I knew were bigger, could not get through them. So if you could get through those skinny, those narrow ways and bypass the traps, well, you're okay, but it just seemed like it was so difficult. And how were these hundreds and hundreds of miles of tunnels dug? Just that.
Normally they need 3 people. One inside the hole, one put the soil out, one put the soil out and put it somewhere. Question is, where did they put the soil? A lot of bomb craters. So they use the soil from bomb crater, they're filling in the bomb crater.
Smart.
They plant the grass on, the tree on. That's why around here is a lot of bomb drop down, but not many bomb craters now because of that.
We hiked through the woods going from one area to the next to see different things. And one of the first things they showed us were the booby traps that were set up. There was like 7 or 8 different varieties, and they were pretty wicked. What you hear in the background is the sound of gunshots and machine gun fire. I think they were playing these recordings to add to the ambiance of the place. Well, at least I thought they were recordings. As it turns out, they were not recordings.
Oh, did you?
Okay, we accept, make a resident, you stop this one.
No,
Keep moving.
Next, they showed us how the Viet Cong would shoot at the American soldiers and then just disappear like a ghost. And this is how they did it.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, look at him, take a photo of him. Real soldiers, uniform. Okay, last way. Come on, flash. Cutting in.
Smiling.
Bye-bye. Bye.
That's it? Where? Gone. And it's come out somewhere far away sometimes. Okay? Okay, sometimes.
So, of course, I had to try it.
Yeah.
And when I went in and put the top on, it was perfectly dark. They showed us a variety of tunnel entrances and exits, and we even had the opportunity to go through some of these tunnels ourselves. And it needs to be noticed that these are the actual tunnels. These weren't made just for this. These are some of the actual tunnels that were used during the Vietnam War. We saw several captured U.S. tanks, and then I stopped for an ice cold Coca-Cola. That sounds like they're really firing. They actually are firing. Son of a bitch.
And these are M16s. These are the
We
weapons
were
that I
given the
trained.
opportunity to fire all sorts of weapons that were used during the Vietnam War. I chose the M16A1, which is what I trained on during my military service.
Yeah, I want M16.
I shot a clip of rounds in the M16, which I did not show because I don't think YouTube would approve. And then it was time to go, get on the bus back to the ship. When we returned to the ship, we hit a cruise dock and prepared ourselves for dinner. We ate dinner, which I forgot to record, had dessert. Here's a couple of desserts. Went to a show, and then prepared for the next day we were going to the mystical Halong Bay.